Sunrise Extra on a Wednesday. Yes, it is ironic that you are watching us primarily on Facebook and YouTube, of course, and we are asking you, will you log off of Facebook and Instagram today?
Don't do it yet. Not yet. Not yet. After this.
Or if you want to, you can just hop over to YouTube. We're over there too. So we're asking that because today starts what activists are calling Facebook Logout Day, and they want to do it for 3 days to really hit the company where it hurts in advertising and scrolling and all that stuff, because they say they're doing it for a couple of reasons. Of course, the role that Facebook disinformation may have played in things like the January 6th Capitol riot, disinformation in general, especially during this pandemic, the political divide it's created, and also that Facebook own research showed that they knew that it was having a tremendously negative impact on specifically teen girls' mental health, Instagram scrolling. So they're saying log out of Facebook. This also comes the same morning that CNN released a poll saying 3 out of 4 adults think that Facebook does more harm than good. They have all kinds of stats, if you Google it, about that.
I'm surprised that even 1 out of 4 said it does more good than harm. Like, I always thought we all accepted the fact that it does more harm than good, but there's enough good that we keep it around. Like, that's always been my thought on Facebook. And I always think about businesses. That's where I go first, because I feel like if you are a business, I know it helps your business. And I think that it's hard to survive as a business if you're not on Facebook, if you're not pushing your products that way. But maybe there's a way that we can turn Facebook into just that. If you have a business and you want to use Facebook to help grow your business, then you have to apply for some kind of permit that'll let you do that. But for personal stuff, it's just blowing people up.
Right, but I also, online you will see that grassroots organizers use Facebook as a way to get their messages out.
Yeah.
A lot of activists, a lot of people, and they're commenting on this as well. I mean, they're advocating for the boycott. But I wonder, will 3 days do anything whatsoever? I mean, it does raise awareness among some people, but is there really going to be any lasting benefit from a 3-day boycott? That
would be like saying to me, and I kind of hear what you're saying, and part of me thinks, to answer your question, no, it won't do a whole lot. But then that would also be like saying to our viewers, hey, don't bother giving 1 toy to the toy drive this year. 1 toy doesn't make that much of a difference, right? I mean, that makes a difference. Every little bit makes a difference. So in this, it's like, yeah, maybe it raises this much awareness to the issue, but at least it's some kind of awareness. Right?
That's true.
I mean, and maybe next time we do it, we could be a 30-day. Maybe it's a 300-day. Maybe then after that, it's for the rest of time.
I mean, if you want quick action, just get off. Right? Maybe that is the, just dive in. Don't stick your toe in the water and just kind of mess around a little bit. If that's the boycott, then just get off of it.
Do you think, let's say Facebook ends tomorrow, won't there be another web platform pop up that people will kind of get obsessed with is the word I was looking for, and then here we go again. So I mean, to me, it's not even an individual company thing, other than that's interesting what Facebook basically, they admitted or acknowledged, right, that they were manipulating their algorithms and things to push opinion one way or the other. That one article that came out several weeks ago. So I would hope another company would never do that, because that sounded negative. Oh,
it's not Facebook.
That's right. Now, why do you change your name? The cable company did this some years ago. I mean, it was just Comcast Cable, and this is my opinion. And then they became Xfinity, which sounded cool, but that was a marketing thing. But why would you need to change names? I'm going to say or assume you change names when when people start thinking about your current name in a negative light. So then you change names.
That's exactly
what Facebook is doing.
They said they're doing.
If you put this sentence together, real quick, to that point, if you put the sentence together, I blank Comcast, what is the most common word in that blank? I blank Comcast. I hear people say it all the time. I hate Comcast. They said, I hate Comcast.
I think they hate the high bill.
So we're like, we better get that we'll get rid of that sentence by getting rid of the Comcast. We'll put Xfinity in there. Maybe we can restructure that sentence.
I mean, I have also been, as a customer, I've been frustrated with Comcast, but I got to say, shout out, I don't even remember her name. I have never been more entertained on a Comcast call from the operator, assistant, whatever you call them. Really? She had us all, there were 3 of us, Jeff, Jaden, and me. It was on speaker. We were waiting to have an issue, and this lady was hilarious. So
great.
Go Xfinity. They were fantastic.
And I should say I'm an Xfinity / Comcast customer and have been for, I don't know, 20 years.
Happy?
I'm happy with the
At
product.
times.
I wish it didn't cost so much, but I'm happy with the product. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And it's not just a Facebook problem, right, that we're talking about
Absolutely.
here. It's a social media problem. Is my mic not working at all, Brian?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're getting picked up on us.
So I guess my mic's broken.
Jennifer Taft says, I think it's here to stay. Awareness is helpful, but honestly, it doesn't really teach them a lesson. I barely do anything on Facebook. It is a negative place, she thinks. Kate Heisman says, I like the friends and the updates, but are we geared to have that many friends? We need actual connections. Eric Williams says, bring back MySpace.
Yes.
I never had MySpace.
That is true. The number of whatever followers is not, they're not friends. I mean, they use that as kind of,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a lot of people with a lot of input that maybe you don't need on a daily basis.
Oh, who was saying this? Debbie Southworth, good morning to you. She says she's going to do it. She says, in fact, I'm promoting it, the logout, to all of her Facebook friends.
Nice.
Get off for a couple days. See how you feel.
Rebecca
Shireen says, hate.
Yeah. Rebecca Kydna. There's a lot of truth into this statement, in my opinion. Facebook is not negative. Well, take that as you will. But then she adds, it's the people that make it ugly. And I would say there's a ton of truth in that last part of her statement.
100%.
It's the
what
people that
sucks
make it
is-
ugly.
100%.
That is that algorithm. It's like, I don't want to see fighting, but that's what they're serving me when you scroll down and you see the new post, they're pushing that up so you do see it, even if you don't want to.
And remember they also...
like divisive posts that are getting bad reaction, but they say, well, any reaction is good reaction.
Right.
Bad publicity is good publicity.
And then they narrowed what you see. Remember they did this some years back, where years ago, I got all kinds of stuff coming into my Facebook feed. It was almost, I don't know, I'm going to say like the newspaper. I never knew what was going to be coming through it. And then some years back, they narrowed the feed that I get based on what I click on in my daily life. So now I feel like I'm not on Facebook, so I'm on Facebook socially like that much. I almost 98% just use it for my KGW weather. But they narrowed my feed, and I'm such a little user of it that I don't hardly get any information coming on my stream now. And I kind of miss when it was just a wider stream of information. But
I
that
would
was another
say
thing they
I
did.
am in the Facebook feed
Yeah.
probably 1% of the time. I mean, I don't even go to it for any information, any news. The friends that I have in my personal life, if I want to go to their page, I'll look on something that they've posted. But I never scroll Facebook. Never.
Yeah, I mean, we had our 40th high school reunion this past summer, and so we had a Facebook page to get awareness out. And then, of course, everybody had all the pics, and we all shared stories leading up to the reunion afterwards. And to me, that was wonderful.
Yep.
And I think in the dream world, that's what Facebook was supposed to be, right? And it was wonderful for that. It really was. And to get back to the one viewer comment, she said it's the people that make it ugly. I mean, I
So to
don't
that
get
point,
why people...
So on the
what they
CNN
do.
poll, it said about a third of the poll, 44% Republicans, 27% Democrats, say both that Facebook is making society worse and that Facebook itself is more at fault than its users. So they're saying the platform versus her saying, no, it's us doing it.
Yeah.
She's saying the platform is, or the poll is saying more the platform is at fault.
So is it Facebook and Instagram that they're talking about? So it's both, they own both?
Yeah.
They
Or
own
is it
both.
just one that
They're just
talking
using the
about?
word Facebook.
Tiana
in
John
this poll.
says, I'm barely on Facebook. I only really use it to promote the goth invasion and to let people know about my events, both
But do you
live
guys
and
think,
virtual.
I mean, I'm on Twitter a lot here at work because I think it's great for news. Like when you're like, oh, what's going on? Like something is
Newsfeed, yeah.
breaking the latest, or I like the trending things because it does kind of keep me up on like what's going on. Which one do you think is worse? I think Twitter is just as
Toxic?
gross and toxic as Facebook is.
Absolutely.
I am never on Twitter.
But somehow Twitter never gets in this conversation.
Yeah,
I
I'm
wonder,
not on
is
Twitter.
is it the character limit? Do you think that you just can't have these long diatribes of, I mean, you could just keep sending more tweets.
Right, I think there are still
But why
diatribes.
isn't Twitter involved in this?
It
I
comes and
wonder?
goes
'Cause
quickly,
Twitter is
too.
gross too.
Facebook lives there on that
It's gross.
page forever until it gets buried in another post. I mean, that's part of it, right? I mean,
You think Twitter
comes-
is just too much of a
Twitter comes
river
and
that it's like
goes,
here
right?
and
Yeah,
gone?
where Facebook
I think they're
isn't
just as
really like
bad.
that. Interesting, yeah.
Facebook is gonna. Does my mic work now?
No,
Does
but
not work.
we can hear you.
Isn't that
Go
weird?
ahead.
It's a new mic. Still not
Maybe
working,
it's
Brian
not
Matthews,
coded.
huh?
Go ahead.
What was I saying? Facebook is going to kind of almost time out because there aren't a whole lot of new subscribers. Like younger people are not signing up for Facebook.
They are with Instagram.
They are with Instagram, but the Facebook itself platform, there are not typical users or not young users typically. And my kids never even mention. They're 14. They never mention Facebook. Like that's not even. They don't think of it. They're not going to think of it. It's going to die sooner than later.
Yeah, my daughter's the same.
But yes, others will survive.
But Facebook will use their money to invest in another platform.
Well, it's Instagram Kids, which is on hold, so it is absolutely branching out.
Yeah.
Susan Decker, good morning to you. Always love seeing your comments. She says there will always be a negative to anything that's overused, but I'm really getting tired of other people deciding what is good or bad. Many are getting put in Facebook jail for nothing. Who gets to decide what we enjoy? So that was her take.
I like her comment. Very thoughtful. Very thoughtful.
You know what I did?
What'd you do, Drew?
You put in the old
I put the bad cable on the good mic.
Gotcha.
The cable issue.
A majority of both Republicans and Democrats say they have little or no trust in big technology companies to act in their best interest. Although this sentiment is more widespread among Republicans. 71% of Republicans take that position. They don't have any trust in companies if their best interest. I wouldn't, either. Compared with 58% of Democrats. That's a bigger partisan gap than 2 years ago, when Republicans were only 5 percentage points higher likelier than Democrats to express mistrust.
Well, it's almost fair that the bottom line is companies, there are exceptions, I'm sure, but many companies, the bottom line is it's the profit line, period. And whatever they have to do to get that profit line going, they will do it.
100%. Raba, I hope I pronounced your name right. Raba Canso says, for me, I ignore the things I don't like, skipping it, and then read the things I like.
Seems simple enough.
And here's a little stat. If you guys haven't seen the Netflix documentary, what's it called?
I know exactly
Is that the name of the documentary?
What is it called? Producers, help us. I'm blanking on the name. It's been out for a long time.
Yes. It came out last year.
2 words. Sounds like, no, I don't, what is that?
You got that weird savant brain you can picture.
I know.
Anyway, but there's an awesome documentary about social media and these free sites are not free. You are the product. And so Facebook.
The social experiment?
Yes.
Social
No.
Experiment?
Isn't that it?
Right.
Social.
We're getting there.
It's like a good movie.
Yell it out when you hear it.
Good book.
Okay.
98% of Facebook's money comes from advertising. We knew that.
Yeah.
They use reams of our personal data
social
about
dilemma.
us, the social dilemma. It is excellent. Watch it, please. About users to predict what kinds of ads we will click on. And then they sell your data to the businesses for the opportunity to place those ads. Never forget that. Anything is
You're the
Twitter,
product.
Facebook. It's free, it's not free.
I mean,
Right.
They're buying, they see everything that you're into, you're scrolling on your phone, what sites you go to buy things, that's all sellable.
It's fair, tell me if you agree. I want to say it's fair to say, and maybe factual, that Facebook was a pioneer in getting information, private information perhaps, but information from us as consumers and storing it at a level that the world had never seen before.
Yeah.
Is that
I think
a fair
it's pretty fair to say, sure.
Yeah. Crazy. I mean, there was the crux of I click on we were shopping for furniture, bought some new living room furniture. We go to one furniture store, I click on one website to look for a couch, and for the next 2 weeks, every time I open my phone or my laptop and my email, furniture ads just galore.
What do you
on
think,
Facebook, furniture ads all over the place.
Does that gross you out, or are you just like, oh wow, what's kind of your reaction?
Gross me out, but it's.
Is it bother
it's
you?
annoying because I realize I can't do anything without the business world taking advantage of what I'm doing right now. To me, it's taking advantage of me. I want a sofa, and now I'm on the list to be bombarded by all these companies sending me sofa commercials.
You are in their sphere, my
It's really
friend.
annoying. Annoying is the word.
You're in their area.
Yeah.
But that's not even a Facebook thing anymore, right?
No, it's spread everywhere. But I think
some people
Facebook
argue,
was kind
like,
of the
who
start
cares?
of that.
Right.
Well, they know I'm shopping for a sofa.
I would
Who
argue that's
cares? I don't have my social security number, hopefully. They don't have, it doesn't matter. Or like my husband. On the new iPhone, how it'll say, ask app not to track?
Yes.
And that's a new kind of privacy feature. And I'm always
they
like,
don't
oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, ask that,
Yeah.
now it's tracked. And my husband's like, no, I'm not going to do it because I'd rather see ads that I would be like, oh, that's kind of a cool product. I'd be into that versus like some random junk that I don't care about. I'm like, okay.
Different take.
Yeah,
Different take.
but I'm always like, oh, the Big Brother thing bothers me. But he's like, no, I'd rather like see a cool like puffy vest that I would want versus a sofa.
But then,
you know,
I'd rather
okay.
go find that puffy vest without them putting it in front of me. Like, right? Like when I want to go get a puffy vest, I'll go seek one out. I don't need them to put it in front of my face and go, oh, I think I might need that.
What if it's the puffy vest?
I love this. Rebecca Bloom, you are on point. She said, oh, they listen too.
they do.
Gosh darn it.
I totally
my
think
son
so.
asked 3 times for a computer chair. Lo and behold, computer chair ads on my Facebook.
That stuff freaks me out.
That is, I
And that's
agree.
why I
Same
turned
thing has
off
happened to me.
Alexa. Or the Siri, I'm sorry, Siri.
So, yeah.
The thing on your phone of like, and my husband loves to use that too. Hey Siri, and I love to make fun of how he asks as his voice totally changes and his cadence turns super weird. And I'm like, okay. Anyway, I turned Siri off because it's always listening for you to say, hey Siri.
Yeah, my brother-in-law does that a lot. He always picks up the phone, like yells at it to like, Siri, how do I get to Oaks Park? And I'm like, just type in Oaks Park.
Yeah, it's way, like the results are always wrong or off or something.
Right.
But his
Really
voice
Huey?
will be like, where is Oaks Park? And I'm like, why are you talking like that? Just
Siri
say it normally.
appreciates it.
Willie Huey, love you forever. He said, you trust that button? It's there to make you feel better. It
Which
doesn't
one? Which
actually not track
Oh, well, I don't know.
you. I actually have another
whatever.
one, Willie. You're probably right.
Hey, interesting thing about Willie Huey. We're going to learn a little bit more about that guy.
Oh, tell us.
He is going to participate in our viewer recipe segment coming up here in a couple of weeks. We're going to do that right before Thanksgiving. So I guess that's next
We're
week.
doing that via
Can you believe that's
Facebook,
next
yeah?
week already? Next week, my friends, is the week before Thanksgiving. So Willie will be one of the 5 viewers that we feature next week on the Sunrise Show. We're going to go into his kitchen, and he's going to show us how to make one of his favorite Thanksgiving recipes.
That's fun.
Looking forward to knowing a little bit more about this Willie Huey guy. 3 years now, Willie's been following us on the show.
Say it again, the day he's going to be on?
I don't know what day he'll be on our show, but we're going to his house next Tuesday to film him in his kitchen making a spectacular Thanksgiving recipe.
Willie.
Yeah.
Love
there you
it.
go.
Where's Joshua? Is he on?
Oh,
today?
that's a good question, too.
You may be.
Nina had this
haven't seen
idea
it.
that one of
Maybe
the
do it on Facebook.
recipes that we could feature could be one submitted by Joshua Madrid.
cocktail.
He's our cocktail making friend,
love
the
that
bartender who
Otherwise
watches
known as
the
a
show.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah.
So Joshua, if you're out there this morning and you're listening, we're going to do a recipe segment leading up to Thanksgiving, and we thought it'd be fun if you were part of that viewer recipe segment by sharing one of your favorite Thanksgiving/holiday themed
Yeah, I want to come
cocktails.
to that
Joshua's
shoot if
here.
you do it.
Is
That'd be
Joshua
fun.
there? Did you
Yeah.
find him?
Is he here?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Joshua, good morning. You'll have
Joshua,
to
what do you think?
weigh in.
Maybe you could make like 2 holiday cocktails.
He's got a lot on this topic. Should we read his comment
Yes,
first?
please do.
Yeah, do
So
that.
Joshua, on this topic of the Facebook deal. Good morning, as he always starts. As with anything, Joshua says, it's all in your approach and how you put things into practice in your daily lives. While there will always be a darker side to social media, Joshua says he tends to think that the extremist feeds people are complaining about is more of a reflection of where that person is in life rather than the fault of Facebook. At the end of the day, you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life.
I love it.
Here
But I
comes
think that's
Tootie.
what media you consume kind of makes that worse.
Well, I mean,
you
that's
know?
true.
And if you're being shown this garbage constantly, then you start becoming,
I mean,
Garbage.
hopefully, yes.
and you don't have to. You don't have to look at all the stuff on Facebook. I mean, kind of like you said, if I'm on Facebook outside of my weather
just hard
page, I will
not to
go.
see it.
I find it incredibly easy. I will go to my friend's Facebook page and
Directly?
to see what they're talking about. 'Cause I don't have any interest in a feed thing. I don't get that. I'll never get that. But we all have things that we do and that we don't do. But I'll never get the feed thing.
Joshua, yes, he
What'd he
says,
say? What'd
I'm
he say?
so down with making cocktails for y'all.
Oh, that's awesome.
I want
When
to
is
come
this
too.
due?
What does he need to do, Drew?
It's like
Tell him
his
what to do.
assignment.
Joshua.
Tell him what to do.
Email Drew.
I'm going to tell you my email address. I guess I'll be telling everyone. It's pretty simple. It's dcarney@kgw.com. Pretty simple. dcarney@kgw.com.
CARN.
C-A-R-N-E-Y.
Okay, well, it could be Y or EY.
How long
I
have you been
know,
working
but
together?
but Joshua may not know. EY, yeah. Okay, all right.
So then, Joshua, you can email me. I'd like to know your phone number. I'd like to get your email address, which obviously I'll have if you email me. And we want to know what cocktail recipe you could share with all of our viewers
that
leading
they
up to
could make at
Thanksgiving.
home.
Yeah, something they can make at home for their Thanksgiving
Yeah.
feast to serve to others.
Oh, I'm
I
excited.
am so excited
See?
about
Yeah.
that.
Connections happen.
There you go.
Via Facebook.
We're thinking an eye-opener because you get up Thanksgiving morning, you're not going to eat for a while, you're in the
He
kitchen.
wants an eye-opener,
You want
like a
an
real strong
eye-opener.
one.
That's what you want.
Yeah, no, that's true. We're down at our house for that. So yeah, I vote for that
An
too.
eye opener.
Yes.
You need a Long Island
And then a
iced tea or
closer.
something. All right, you guys. Look, we made connections.
Yeah, it was a good
Facebook
day.
is good
It
for
was a good
something.
day.
I
No,
guess.
no.
We used it
Facebook
properly.
bad, Sunrise Extra good.
We'll see you tomorrow, you guys. Bye.